What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Throws Show. And this might be, I guess this isn't technically, is this a World Championships preview or no? I guess not, because none of the stuff is really up there. But
yeah, we're not really previewing anything today, but we
well, maybe our team will be
Our team is in preparation for Worlds.
Yes, yeah. So let's get right into it. There's going to be one throw that we're sharing at the end of the podcast that I believe is going to go down as the craziest breakout throw probably of potentially the decade. Something where it's like really, really cool, surprising, something neat to see with progress. So I did want to point out right away, Peyton Auto is on an absolute tear. You know, he's been throwing regularly over 22 meters and making it look like it's easy. And not even that, like, oh, shucks. Oh, shucks, I threw 22-11 again. So I think it's going to be interesting to see. Let's do a prediction. What's he going to throw at World Champs?
I think he'll PR. I think he will.
My money would be on he will PR, yes.
The question, maybe the bigger question is, will he be upset with his PR throw after throwing it?
Yeah, that's a very good question.
Hopefully not at the World Championships.
I want to see what his expression of emotion is when he's happy.
Yeah.
Because, like, when he came out in the Olympics, when they did the intro, he did, like, I think it was like a Dragon Ball Z dance. Oh, yeah. So he is, like, he's got a really good quirkiness about him, and I want to see if he just smacks one. Like, what's his celebration going to be?
Yeah, definitely.
So let's see. It's going to be exciting.
That's a big throw. I mean, like, going into the World Preview discussion, how many, just some pre-discussion, how many throws over 22?
5.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for, you know who I think might be somebody who could pop off is Chuck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have a feeling. I don't know. I just think he's such a consistent thrower, and he's more than able to throw that. And I could see him popping off with a big clutch throw.
Here's a question: has it ever taken over 70 feet to make
top 8? No. In 19. It was 2090.
2090.
Yeah.
We would need like.
I have to look at the top 8 though. Yeah, I'd have to look at the top 8. I know the top 12. It was 2090.
Okay.
I don't remember. It might have been 2091, but I don't remember the 8th spot.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe it could be this year. Ooh, Jefe, the boss. I was explaining to Jaime. I was getting Jaime confused because I kept calling Jeff Jefe. And she was like asking, like, why do you call him the boss? And I was like, no, it's like more just like a play on his name, like Jefe.
Yeah.
So then she was like, what's his name? I said, Jeff. So then she was trying to say boss in English, but she was still like, Jeff is boss? And I was like, no. Jefe is boss in Spanish, which you know.
Spell it out.
Yeah. It was a really weird.
Yeah.
But this bench is insane. Like, 475 for a double?
Dude, yeah.
I was making fun of him today. I said, I'm pretty sure Tom Walsh threw 21 meters when he was 21, Jeff, and you just turned 21. So if you're going to walk around with your Tom Walsh shirts on and be built exactly like Tom Walsh and have a little bit of his technique, you better throw 21 this year.
That'd be huge.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah, that's a big bench. Congrats on that, Jeff. That's big.
This is
not to be overshadowed.
Yeah. I think, who was it? It was it Zane Weir who I think commented back like, my best is 405 or something.
Yeah, right. He just repped out my PR.
It's insane. And the thing is too, that's wild. One, look how long he is, but he's also got like a closer grip. Like that's like 14, 16 inches.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dude, that's a huge bench. He does a good job of keeping his hips down too. That would not be you or myself, Trevor.
Would be sky high.
Of course, I don't want to bury comments. How much can he clean and squat? I'm sure he can probably a decent amount. I don't know.
There must be something wrong with it.
I love reading comments on Throwers Universe. I love reading. I'm a big comment guy in general. I like going into the comments on like the newspaper and just seeing. Actually, I want to share something.
Although this could be very genuine.
Yeah, it could be. It could be.
I'm actually very curious how much can he?
Yeah, like is he hang cleaning 315 for a power,
yeah.
which I could see. Yeah, that's huge. Okay, and I did want to I wanted to investigate this. Okay, so I wanted to see if this is Christian Cantwell and Jackson, and they're at the Alabama football camp. And at first I thought Christian had a Nebraska shirt on, but I think that is the high school. It looks like NIXA.
Okay.
So that's where I was like, is he really wearing that? And it's interesting too that Christian looks small next to his son. Look at his son's like 4 or 3 inches. I know Christian's a little older, but he's probably only like what, 41, 44 or something. And he looks. I mean, he doesn't look small on the shoulders, but he looks small height wise, and he's huge.
What are the chances that Jackson turns out to be a shot putter? Do we have a chance?
7%. 7%. Yeah, I would. I mean, you're taking you're going on to a football camp at Alabama
when you're 16 years old.
Yeah, you're going to be a sophomore. I don't think that there's. And like the crazy part, I remember when Nick had a phone call with Saban before they went on the visit, and dude, he's not wasting.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't waste his time with somebody like who's not on the radar.
Yeah.
So he's very likely going to get an offer from Alabama.
Yeah.
And Georgia and everybody else. Man.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it'd still be cool to see him tear it up in college football and
it would be.
the NFL, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. The
Lower
next Joe
roots.
Thomas. Yeah, next Joe Thomas for sure. Another one, actually, Braden Platt comes out. He's a 4-star. And so he's a national champion in the javelin, 64-foot glider. Super explosive.
Dang.
Dude, that's crazy. Oh, my gosh.
Super explosive. Wow.
I want to know,
what position he plays.
That's probably, I mean, to me, it almost looks like he'd be like an outside backer. An outside backer, maybe a middle linebacker, but he looks a little small there. I mean, not that he's small, but like with how wired he is, and I feel like throwing the jab, maybe outside linebacker, strong safety.
Yeah.
He's like they used to call them rovers. Now they're called like athletes, basically, where it's like they're just moving them all over the field on defense. Jeez.
One more year.
Yep. I wonder where he's looking.
Yeah.
Braden, comment down below where you're looking. Here we go. Cameron Rogers, absolutely on another tear this year. 77-43 at Nationals in Canada. See you in Budapest. Budapest is going to be wild in the hammer.
Yeah.
It's wild in every single freaking throws event. And then I'm so excited for the first 3 days, actually, at World Champs is basically, it's like 80% of the throws are happening in the first 3 days. She looks good there. Looks really good.
Yeah, there's going to be a big competition.
Mm-hmm. Does she medal again? You think Cameron medals again?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she will too. I think she's too good not to. Alekna back over 69 meters. Mikolos. I think some people have to remember too, he's had such a long season. I would assume, I don't know for sure, but I would assume he either had some downtime or like a reloading period in his training block to try and prep to come back for Budapest. So he goes to Lithuanian champs. I didn't see what his brother threw there. Oh, he gave me a follow on Instagram.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
I was like, I think I made it.
Definitely.
He's probably got like a bot that just follows everybody that likes his things. What do you think? It almost looks like he's throwing uphill there. Like, is that just me? I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, the nice thing about discus and the NCAA is at least you don't have an indoor season too.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
But yeah, I mean, I think this is, the discus is going to be fun to watch for sure.
What makes the final? Last year it was, I think 64 or 65-29, I want to say was what Alex threw to get top 8. I want to say it was 64-90 that was 12th.
I could see it being 65.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's going to be crazy.
Do you think, no, I don't know do you think, here's a question I've been wondering. I haven't been to the new stadium in Eugene, but is there more airflow in that stadium than a traditional, like, fully encircled stadium?
So I would say it's a pretty fair wind. It's like almost directly head on. I think lefties and right-handed throwers can get good wind. To answer your question, I think London probably has the best wind as far as it gets a lot of wind. Sometimes it can be very swirling, which I think happened at the Diamond League, but sometimes it can be like less so of a swirling wind, and you'll see like big results there like you saw in 17's World Championships. To answer that, yeah, I would say Eugene's a very good stadium setup.
Now, the follow-up, I don't know what
Budapest
looks like.
Is it from what I've read? Do you want me to pull up my cell phone and show you the wind readings on it that I have?
Sure.
So, based off of my insider research, let's see. Hopefully, everybody can stay with us here on this. From my understanding, is typically the wind in Budapest in the stadium is going to be out of the west, with most days being a northwest 5 to 12 mile an hour on average range, and that can get down to the field. So I don't know. I have to look at the situation with when I'm there and I'm looking at the discus circle, I'll probably try and find the coordinates and see, like, based off of that.
Yeah.
From the wind guru, the behind the scenes wind guru.
Cool. Yeah. Well, that's all going to come into play.
2 fouls over 23 meters. Came back a week later, a couple days later, and throws 23. So they're saying there when he reversed that his heel got caught up on the board. And I think what's good about this is that it didn't really matter a ton. So right here on the reverse.
I guess right there.
Probably, yeah. I actually think that might be a foul. Now that I'm seeing that, I think that might be a foul. And I know, like, he did come back. He did come back in London and drop a huge one. But this just tells me, too, it's like, what's he going to do at Worlds? Like, what's going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
You look at Walsh, and he threw at London. Walsh went 22.58, and he still went 23. Tom's probably like, cool. I just threw 22.60. 22.60 destroys everyone in history except for one person, and Joe.
Right. Yeah.
And now you're looking at it going, you got Tom. You've got, and that's the other thing is like, if I think Chuck can do it, I mean, I also think Peyton, I think Josh, I think Joe, I think Krauser. Now that I'm thinking back to your original question, yeah, I'm going like there might be like 7 guys going 22. Yeah, so maybe I might be way off. I don't know. We'll see. Okay.
I mean, again, what's actually thrown and the capability of people throwing it is always a disparity there.
Mm-hmm. Especially when everybody starts warming up. And I want to start. These guys got to start putting 23-meter lines out there when he's throwing.
Yeah, right.
Like, put a line at 23 and put a line at 20, just to troll everybody else in the competition.
Yeah, that's big, man. I mean, 20. Like, these numbers are just, you're just tossing them around like it's nothing now. 23 meters.
He did the slide there too. Jeez. And then Tom got set and came in, big throw. And that's a tough situation for someone like Tom, where it's like, dude, I want to go out and rip one.
Right. Yeah.
Anybody who's competing around him. I mean, this is one thing. I think I might have mentioned this in the last podcast, was they were monitoring his heart rate. His heart rate's down at like 115 during a comp. Like, that's crazy.
Man.
He's so calm.
Yeah.
Ooh, speaking of calm, there he is. So Eric is training for World Championships. We had a little reload, like about a 5-week reload before he headed off to Europe for about 8 weeks, where now, he's got camp starts next week. He's got his last meet. I think it's in Sweden or Finland on Saturday, and he's going to do that simulation, the world simulation, on Saturday morning. So Eric's somebody that I think could, he's had a very, very consistent season, like a very good season. And I think he's capable of doing something really special. I really do. I think he can sense it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's big. Yeah, I'm excited to see what he's gonna do.
And that takes us to Cece. Cece's actually over in Nigeria right now. But she's getting back into decent form now. She's getting back into feeling more consistent, feeling more dialed in. 2 meets back to back over. Was there one meet I think was 62? This one was 61-60 or 61-61 as I'm reading this. But I think that with her, it's just getting that rhythm established. She's had a lot of stuff going on. Like, she's in Nigeria right now. Both of her grandmothers passed away, so she's just dealing with some tough life stuff. She's actually going to be throwing, I think, Saturday at the same meet as Eric. But she's in position now. I think that she gets rolling heading into the World Championship. She can do some damage. She goes out and throws 61-62. I think that's going to make it. I think that can make it. I really do believe that. And with Cece, you never know. She can rip one and go 65. You never know.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got Cece, Eric Favors, Mustafa Hassan, who actually just went 20-35 in Luxembourg. And Alex here throwing in the weather. She's done a good job competing in the rain like this in Sweden. He's done a good job, just competing 2 Diamond League meets this year where he did really, really well. Trying to see here. Setting up pretty well out of the back. Right comes down, good position. He's another one. He and Eric, man, they've had such consistent seasons. Like, I really, really think he could do something really, really cool.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm really excited to see it.
It's funny because I was talking to him about the simulation, and he's like, this is Alex Tutti. What did we do last year? And I was like, well, you and Sam both did the simulation. He's like, I did? I was like, yeah. But when we did it, you were like eating like a candy bar. You got into the circle after you did your mobility, and you did like 3 dry spins. Meanwhile, Sam's like warming up, like pretending to warm up like we're outside the stadium. Then we went and we drove over to the stadium and we trained inside the stadium. But Alex just went we trained at this circle right outside the stadium, pretending it was the meet. And then Alex took like 3 throws. He's like, all right, I'm good. Meanwhile, Sam's like 30 throws in, remembers everything. He's like, oh, now I remember. All right, so here we got Sam. He looks pretty good today. Today he threw pretty well. I think he's he's starting to feel a lot more confident, especially coming off the Nationals. He didn't throw well in England, but I just feel like he's in a different spot, and he's going to go over to Hungary in about 8 days. I'm leaving the 14th. He leaves before me. So I'm pretty excited. And we're doing our first preparation training on Friday, so it's going to be fun. I think, again, he and Alex are going to have to throw. They're going to have to throw really well to make that top 12. I think that's the whole thing, too, is we throw all these numbers around, but it just comes down to, just do what you did to get here.
Yeah.
If you can do what you did to get to Worlds, if you can do it at Worlds, you're very, very likely going to make the final.
Yeah.
All right, and then that's going to take us to the biggest. Yeah, I think this is probably the breakout throw of the year. And this is Rahindra Campbell going 22-22. I was at Tucson when he went 21-40 or 21-38. And so they've been posting his huge.
You can't believe it.
They've been posting his progression since 2017, 16 meters to 18 meters to 20 meters, and then he was sort of stuck at 20 meters and popped 21, and now here. And the big thing to that is him writing his goals down, what he did in the weight room, what his goals were each year in the weight room. Definitely the world record for left-handed throwers, which we brought up before. That's going to make Eric mad. Eric's probably oh, geez, I got to go 22-23.
You can see him here.
Yeah.
Giving a congrats.
Yeah, there you go.
It's I got to chase that down now.
Yeah. Eric's what? There's Chuck. And I think that, that's Jamaican record. And the other big factor that people aren't realizing, or maybe they are, is that we're in the qualification period now for Paris. So that throw hits the standard. So not only does he hit the standard, now that he's also competing in all these big meets, he's going to have the points as well. So it's very, very likely. I don't know how he wouldn't go to the Olympics. So that was probably the other factors. He's going to Paris,
right.
Essentially. He just punched his ticket. So I think that's another big factor. And his movement there is just great. Yeah. His right leg's nice.
Yeah, that's big. I mean, Jamaican record, left-handed thrower.
Yeah.
Record.
Lincoln's got to try and snipe him in 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for all the stuff around Worlds. I'm going to be getting over there actually August 15th is when I land in Budapest. It's going to be a really fun time. Should be a lot of big results. And we've got our throws camp next week as well, so that's going to be also intense. Stay tuned to our social media on Instagram and also on this YouTube channel. Until next time, peace.